Did you know there was a day when just 61 American soldiers woke up in a forgotten mountain pass? And before noon, they were fighting off an enemy force big enough to erase them from the earth? This wasn't Hollywood. This wasn't myth. This was the Battle of Ridge Point, a battle where courage was the only thing keeping men alive. March 17, 2011, Outpost Ridge Point, a tiny American base wedged between towering cliffs, dry ravines, and silence that felt wrong. Veterans called it a coffin with Wi-Fi because once the enemy struck, no one expected to walk out. At 5:34 a.m., while the sky was still dark blue, a single rifle shot cracked through the valley, then another, then the mountains erupted. Over 350 enemy fighters opened fire from every ridge, firing rockets, mortars, and machine guns down into the outpost like a waterfall of death. Ridgepoint was trapped, surrounded, outnumbered nearly 6-1, and the base began collapsing instantly. Barracks splintered, fuel trucks detonated, the communications tent vanished in flames. Dust and smoke erased the sun. But inside that chaos, something else woke up. The kind of courage that only appears when men know they're fighting their last fight. Sergeant Cole Ramirez, bleeding from shrapnel, ignored the medics and sprinted straight toward the south wall, dragging soldiers out from under wreckage while shouting orders over the explosions. Corporal Ethan Graves worked the radio with trembling hands, dodging bullets punching through the canvas above him. Every transmission felt like gambling with death, but he stayed at the console because the entire base needed one message: air support now. And on the northern edge, Specialist Liam Rowe, the youngest machine gunner in the unit, set up his 240B on a broken wall and unleashed a rain of fire that kept half the ridge from overrunning the gate. When his barrel overheated, he swapped it barehanded and kept firing. Enemy fighters rushed the wire, some reached the perimeter, a few broke through. The battle turned into pure survival. Medics treated wounds with burned gloves and torn shirts because their equipment was gone. Soldiers carried ammo barehanded through walls of gunfire just to keep one more man alive. Teams formed defensive circles, fighting back-to-back as explosions shook the ground beneath their boots. By 9 a.m., the enemy launched a final push, dozens charging the outer gate, firing from only a few steps away. Grenades rolled between sandbags, bullets snapped past faces, smoke swallowed everything. Inside the chaos, Ramirez led a counterattack straight through a collapsed tower, pushing the enemy out of the breach with nothing but grit and determination. Graves finally broke through comms interference and sent the message that kept the base alive. Air support inbound, hold the line. But the enemy knew it too and pushed even harder. For almost 5 hours, the Americans fought with shredded gear, empty canteens, and ammo running dangerously low. But not a single man stepped back. Not one. Then at 10:12 a.m., the roar of an Apache helicopter shook the valley. The pilot later said he had never seen an American base so destroyed, yet still fighting. Jets followed, bombers followed, and finally the tide turned. One by one, enemy positions on the cliffs evaporated under the weight of American air power. By early afternoon, the surviving attackers retreated into the mountains. The valley fell silent for the first time all day. Ridgepoint still stood. 8 American soldiers gave their lives, 23 were wounded. But all 61 had held the pass against an army designed to wipe them out. Military leaders later said if Ridgepoint had fallen, every base in the surrounding region could have collapsed with it. Their stand didn't just save themselves. It saved an entire chain of villages, roads, and American positions. This was the story of the 61 Americans who refused to die, who fought with empty rifles, burned hands, and unbroken will, and refused to let a mountain pass become their grave. Decode the dark, real war, real heroes, real courage.